Professor Scott Sullivan here with Bam Bam Martial Arts. I've got another episode of our mental Jiu Jitsu program that we teach here. We're starting now this book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, Powerful New Techniques to Program Your Potential for Success. I have to say, I absolutely love this book. I read a lot of these kinds of books, and this has become one of my favorites. It's just so powerful. It's a pretty easy read, even for smaller kids. It's easier than some of our other ones. And the information in here is really powerful. And he kind of provides something that a lot of the other books and programs and stuff like that don't provide. So when you're trying to make yourself better, you're trying to build your mind, a lot of times we go out and we'll buy talks, or you can listen to programs or read books, and you get a little excited for a while. Oh man, yeah, you feel great, got a little adrenaline boost, man, I'm motivated, and then it wears off. It wears off, and it doesn't really stick. It doesn't take effect. Why not? Why don't these things work more often? Well, as he says here in this book, Shad Helmstetter that is, it's that we take in a lot of good information all the time, but it doesn't last. And the reason why is because we have these pre-programmed beliefs in our mind. Your mind has learned to think in certain ways. It has a habit of thinking in certain ways. That's what he calls programming. So he uses the analogy of a computer. Your mind's like a computer, and it's programmed to think in certain ways. And, it's just simply a mental habit is how I think about it. It's wired, or you've got a habit of thinking in certain ways because of the information you've taken in from others and the information you kind of have come to believe, of the information that you've formed these self-beliefs about from what you say to yourself. That's where the title comes in, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. It's extremely important because when you talk to yourself, you become to believe those things. So here's what I mean. If you start saying things like, gosh, I'm not very good at that. I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at math. I'm not a very good whatever. You start to have that mental habit of thinking in that way. And you kind of lock yourself in. The book says that researchers estimate that 77% of what we say to ourselves is negative. 77%. Most of the time of what you're saying to yourself, either actually verbally, or it's just kind of these thoughts in your head, is negative. It's bringing you down. It's limiting your potential. You are programming your mind for failure most of the time. That's a key point of this book. If you don't take control of your mind, if you don't take control of how you talk to yourself, it's going to be bad. It's going to hold you back. It's going to be negative. That's how our minds get programmed, through this mental repetition time and time again. You see, that's the problem. And that's why when you read a good book, a motivating book, or some kind of self-help book, you get some kind of information like that, it doesn't stick. It sounds good for a little while, but then it wears off because you've got these mental habits that are blocking the information from really taking effect. You see what I mean? So what you have to do is program your mind for success. That's the point of this book, is how to take control of this process and program your mind for success. And one of the proven ways to do this is through positive self-talk. Now, I know some people think, it's just a bunch of wishful thinking. No, it's not. It's a well-established, successful method in sports psychology. Olympic athletes, professional athletes, whatever, positive self-talk produces results. Okay, it does indeed help. And this book talks about the discoveries in neuroscience that back up why things like that in sports psychology work. So we've known that positive self-talk works through sports psychology. Now we're starting to learn why it does through what neuroscientists have discovered and so on. So Positive self-talk works, and if you don't believe it, then you need to read the book. All right. So what I've got for you guys here, and I want to strongly, strongly suggest that everybody do this. Every one of my students do this, and their parents. I'm doing this personally right now, and so is everyone in my family. The coaches here are doing this. This is our positive self-talk challenge, the ultimate positive mental programming 30-day challenge. If you don't know what to say to talk when you talk to yourself, this is what to say. Okay? So I've taken the formula, the formulas that he talks about in this book on positive self-talk, the best versions, and he has different levels in here as you'll learn. And I've just made these mental scripts for you. It's one page. There are 8 of them here regarding responsibility, confidence, goal setting, discipline, focus, courage, optimism, and health and fitness. They're all important areas, okay? And these are scripts that you can say to yourself. And what I say here is that you can take this thing, and I highly suggest you do it, take it and tape it up on your bathroom mirror so you won't forget. So every morning when you go brush your teeth, every night when you go brush your teeth, boom. This is staring you in the face, okay? Takes about a little over 3 minutes for me to go through this. You go through the list 3 times, each one 3 times. Takes a little over 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes at night, 6 minutes a day. If you're not willing to put in 6 minutes a day to dramatically change your life, then, you're not really serious. So if you're a child student, kid student watching this, you do this for 30 days. I make little tally marks at the bottom, little like Roman numerals, right? Each day, boom, boom, boom. Okay, you do this 30 times. Bring it into us. This is an honesty-based system. Bring it into us and say, yes, coach, I did this for 30 days straight. You will get 10, a whopping 10 merit stripes for doing this. And so we signify that by our special green merit stripe, which is worth 10 normal merit stripes. So I want to suggest that you do this, and we're going to go through this book and learn more about what to say when you talk to yourself. Again, I can't stress how important this is. If you don't have this right, okay, if you don't have the right mental programming, if you are pre-programmed negatively, and you probably are because you've never thought about this before, right? Most people are just by default, just because that's just the environment we're raised in, and we kind of have a negative bias to ourselves. There are a lot of reasons why, but if you haven't taken control of your thoughts and what to say when you talk to yourself, then you probably got bad programming. And if you're a kid watching this video, you're probably not. You're just still kind of fresh and young. That's even better. Right now, you got kind of like a clean slate. We can start building you up from the beginning. For us adults, older people like me, I've got 51 years of bad programming that I have to undo. You guys who are 8 years old, you got a head start. You don't have to undo all those bad years. You're like a clean slate, a clean sheet of paper. Start clean and lay that positive self-talk down. So this is life-changing information. We're going to see this later on as we go through this book and through the different episodes of my mental jiu-jitsu program. But I highly suggest you do this. It will change your life forever.